This conference will now be recorded.
Yes, Anna.
Okay. What is
Ready?
the
I have one question for Ganesh Anna.
Yeah,
okay?
Mahesh. Yeah.
Go
How many
ahead.
statuses in AR?
How many status in air?
Yeah,
What? What?
statuses, Anna.
Can you be more clear
Statuses.
on that question, Mahesh?
What kind of
Status means while we transferred, uh, we have totally 5 statuses, right, Anna?
What status?
Invoice.
You
AR,
have to be
AR,
specific, right?
AR
Okay.
invoice status.
Before coming to that, sorry, Mahesh. Uh, Let me put some questions actually to the team. What is the example or scenario given by the Ganesh before starting the actual contract project life cycle?
scenario?
Guys, what is the example he has given for a contract project?
Anna, he has
I
taken the
think
Deloitte
contractor.
Not,
US
sorry,
service, US
not
Deloitte.
IT service.
Ganesh, you have to keep quiet, right?
IT services,
Okay.
Anna.
What is ID service? I mean, just give me a brief explanation on it. Let me pick Lokesh.
Yes, Anna. If you are having a company, if you got a project from US Deloitte to provide
Mm-hmm.
IT services for 1 year, for the services provided, they are going to give you some money, I mean revenue. After completion of the project, we are going to get some revenue. That is known as contract project.
Okay, they are not going to pay the revenue. They'll pay the invoice amount. Based on that, we can generate the revenue for the company. Right? Okay. What are the mistakes he has done? While explaining contract project life cycle.
Anna, in receivable module, PRC auto imported. It is one mistake, Anna. Not PRC, auto imported.
Okay,
And
good money.
he means
Others. Okay, that's it from money. Others. Any other mistakes you have identified?
Anna,
Shrikalam?
this is Ravi. Sorry.
Yes, Naveen.
He missed the mention about the key members, Anna.
What?
He didn't mention about the key members at the project level, Anna, while creating the project. I mean, project type. Project.
Key members like team members?
Yeah, Anna.
Project manager. Anna. Project manager. Project manager.
Okay. Is project manager mandatory for a contract project? Without project manager, can't I move forward?
Now,
What
if
Without
you
key
about
want to
members,
approve the
we
without
can't
key
upload,
member, you
unapprove, Anna.
can't.
We can't unapprove, Anna. Without key member, we can't unapprove.
we can't
Approve.
unapprove? I'm not
Approved,
understand.
sorry.
We can't approve.
Without payment, we can't approve.
So you're saying that without assigning a project manager, we cannot approve the project, right?
Yeah, Anna.
Not
Are you
project
sure,
manager,
guys?
Anna. Key member. Not project manager, Anna. Key member of that project.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
What is the difference between project team members and key members?
Mean the person who have the
Key
authority to
member.
approve that project. Anna.
Let's say I don't have any approvals on the project. No, like directly I'll create the project in active status or approved status. In that case, do I need key member?
I think no, Anna.
No,
We don't
Anna.
need.
We don't.
Right? So we have to check all the scenarios, right? Um, any other thing, guys? I just want to know how far you are, following Ganesh's presentation. See, while explaining about invoice statuses, he didn't talk about release status. Instead of released, I mean, he did by mistake, but you should follow him, right? What he's talking about, whether that is correct or not. Because while giving presentations, of course, everyone do mistakes. Even I do mistakes. That's not a problem. But I just want to see your attention level, right? Whether you are following him or not. Instead of released, he said approved only,
Yes, Sam. Yes, Sam. I forgot to tell about that.
right?
Yes, Sam.
So, guys, are you really following, presentations? Even yesterday, Ramesh Anna said that you are not following because as we are connected virtually, I cannot see your, you know, faces whether you are following presentation or not. Next time onwards, if anyone give presentation, your attention should be required and you have to point out if any mistakes during his presentation time, right guys?
Okay, Anna.
Okay, I have one more question. Do I need budgets mandatorily for creating a contract project and generating invoice and revenue? Do I need budgets mandatorily?
Yes, Anna, we need budgets,
No.
I think.
Are you sure? Did you try that?
Revenue.
Uh, if you have to provide distribution rules, then we need to provide the budgets. If you don't want to provide distribution rules, we can simply give event by event.
Right, so it's totally based upon your distribution rules, right?
Yes, Sam. Yes, Sam.
You have to answer that. Okay, fine. Let me share my screen. And I gave few assignments, right? Where are we on that? Naresh, Mani, Avilash. Naresh, make me presenter.
Oh, sorry, Anna. No,
Nice.
I'm working on the differences between fusion and very
I'm
detailed.
getting echo, Naresh. I don't know why it is happening with your system. When someone talking, I'm not getting this issue. Abhilash, Mani, where are we on the assignments?
Not yet in process and not yet completed, Anna.
Why?
Uh, I am
Guys,
seeing every
if
task.
you if you are not able to finish the assignments, stretch yourself, stretch few more hours.
Okay, Anna.
See, when you join into an organization and when your lead or project manager give you any assignment and he asks you to complete by end of the day, you cannot give excuses, right? No, I just partially completed that. I'll complete by tomorrow. Will you say that? See, yesterday my work started at 1 p.m. and ended at 3 a.m. in the morning. Can I give excuses to them?
No,
Right? So you have to complete your assignments right within the stipulated time. Don't go with the excuses, guys. Especially when it comes to the assignments. No excuses. I mean, of course, if you're not able to proceed further, like maybe because of some issues or some kind of annoying steps, I agree with that. And then I will help you. But if you don't start working on the assignments, then I cannot help you on that.
I started, but not yet completed. Totally.
That is what I'm saying, Abhilash. You have to complete it, right?
Okay, Anna. Sorry for that.
You stretch till 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. That's up to you. Okay. Uh, where are we? I think we have created a project, right? Yesterday.
Yes, Anna. Yes, Anna. We have to
Okay.
create asset lines.
Is it? Did I generate asset lines? Did I went too far? I don't think so.
No, Anna. No, Anna.
No, no, Anna.
Hey Ganesh,
No,
where
no,
are
Anna.
you?
No, Anna. No, Anna.
Okay, fine. So first we have created project type, template, project, which are very easy things. Now we are going to create an asset and going to assign the asset either at the project level or at the top task or lowest task level, right? So in order to do that, from the projects, I mean within the projects, you have to click on assets work area. So if you have project accountant role, then you will get an access to this work area. If not, you cannot see that. Okay, and even I gave an assignment on the roles as well. Like what kind of, like what are the access we get with each one of project related role, right? Okay, so from here, click on the like task list, and under capitalized assets, click on manage capital projects. Okay, so as soon as you come here, you can see list of projects here. If you cannot see your project in this list, go to the search for your project, and then select the project. Okay, so this is our project, and then go to the actions, and then click on manage capital assets. I think we are already having one asset. Okay, so we're going to create a new asset here. Asset 2. So I want to create this asset with the estimated status because until I fully capture my SIP cost, I don't want to change the asset status to as built. Yes, like without capturing my SIP cost, I can also change or create an asset with the as built status. But saying that, if like there are chances of triggering the generate asset lines job and without capturing full SIP cost, then maybe users may generate asset lines on the partially captured SIP cost. So in order to avoid that kind of situations, we won't maintain the asset with the as built status, right? So if you maintain with this status, even if someone try to run generate asset lines, nothing will happen, right? So that is the main reason why we are maintaining the asset status or asset project asset type as estimated. Right, guys? It's not a thumb rule that you should always create a asset with estimated status first and then as built. No, there is no thumb rule like that. Okay, and again, description. You can do any free text here. Okay, and we have discussed about the asset book, how it will get populated automatically here, right? and asset category and asset key. All these will get required columns when you enable what is a checkbox within the project. I mean, not project type. Who can answer that question?
Yes, like
In project type itself, required complete asset definition. Then we have to give all the details.
Hmm. So within the project type, under calculation options, if you enable require complete asset definition details, then you, without providing these details, you cannot move the cost to FA, right? If not, these will be as a optional columns. And moving forward, let's give an asset number here, which is 1000. And again, location is also one of the important value, because without giving location even in fixed asset side, you cannot create an asset, right? And the depreciation expense account is also mandatory in FA if you don't enable that required complete asset definition checkbox. Okay, so let me pick a random expense account here. I'll go with this. Okay, so now click on save. Okay, let's select even asset category as we have selected expense account. Okay, so we have created asset successfully. Now the next level is assigning this asset, right? Either at the project level or at the top task or lowest task level. So staying in the same page, click on the assign assets by highlighting the current newly created asset. So let's click on assign asset, and then you can select the assignment level, whether you want to go with the project or at the top or the task level, right? So I think we have already assigned a task, sorry, asset at the project level, I think. So we have to go with the project level only. Let's click on save and then close. Now we are having two assets within the project. So we have created the asset and assigned the asset. What is the next step, guys?
we have to put the cost.
Mm-hmm.
In asset assigning, there is no where can we find the common task option for asset assignment in future?
Okay, common cast task, right? We'll see that
Yes, sir.
as a, as a separate session, because that's a I want to cover that as a separately actually.
Actually, in EBS, we find it at asset assignment level, but here I can't see the option in asset assignment.
Yeah, you cannot see that here. We'll enable that within the WBS definition level. I'll show you that. Okay, so once after this, what is the next step, guys? Naresh,
We have to book the cost.
right?
Rates with
We have to
assets.
book the, we have to book the cast. So for a change, we do one thing. Naresh, Abhilash, Mani, and then Sai Mahesh. And then, yeah, these guys should not answer to my questions, right? Rest has to answer to my questions, because all the time only these three or four guys giving response or answering to my questions. What about the rest? There is no active participation, right?
Okay, Anna, we'll try, Anna.
Okay, good. Okay, so now we have to capture the cost. So again, this will be again a new activity here when it comes to the business suite. So in order to capture the cost, there are many ways, right? So you can use your ABDI template, or you can use your ADFDI template, or you can use your uh, creating expenditure batches within the application. Um, right. So these are all the three ways to capture the cost. So for our session, so we'll just try to create, or we'll try to see how to create an expenditure batch from within the application, right? So coming to the cost work area, go to the task list and then click on manage unprocessed cost. Okay, and here you can click on plus icon here to create an expenditure batch. So let me give paste 1709. My business unit is Bangalore, and my source is, maybe I can go with manual labor. No, bank cost. Or else before coming here, let's review the transaction sources. Did we see about transaction source, guys? No, right? Team, are you there?
No, 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 no.
No, no.
No, Anna.
Why Mahesh is answering? What about the rest? I can see a lot of transformation or change in Ganesh, but not with the other team members. They are very silent. Don't keep silent yourself, right? So talk. When I ask some questions, don't be silent. And as I said, the few members, like 4 to 5 members, they should not answer to my questions. Others has to open up their mouth now. Okay, let's go to the project financial management. Under project costing base, we have a task called manage project transaction sources, right? So this is very important in order to capture cost. So let's see first the inbuilt or the standard transaction sources. So we are having payables, purchasing, cost management, time and labor projects. I think most of you are aware about these standard transaction sources, right? Right, team?
Yes,
Yeah,
Anna.
yeah.
Yes, Anna.
Yes, Anna.
Yes, Anna.
and we'll move to the a custom transaction source, right? For example, I have a third party system or the external system from where I want to bring cost into project costing, right? So in that case, I don't have any standard transaction source, or I cannot use the standard transaction source in order to capture the cost from an external system or the third party system, right? So in that case, you have to create a custom transaction source, right? So let me create a custom transaction source here. Maybe I'm having a system called AppPick. This is a third party application, AppTech. Okay, and here just want to mention 500 7 close. So under transaction source, you just give the name and the description, right? And highlighting that, if you scroll down, you can see two more levels. One is document and the document entries. And the hierarchy here is like first transaction source will come into the picture. Under transaction source, documents will come into the picture. So you can maintain one or more documents within the same transaction source, right? And under each document, you can maintain one or more document entries. This is the hierarchy or the structure, right? So directly for a given transaction source, without creating document, you cannot create document entry, right? So you have to follow the structure. Now, where is my transaction source? So this is my transaction source. By highlighting that, under documents, again, I'm going to click create button here. Now I have to enter the document name. Let's say Epic material cost, because I want to capture the inventory cost or inventory receipts from the third party system. Okay, and if you observe the options what we are having within the document, right? So import options, accounting options, right? So you have to remember these two sections, right? It's very important and mandatory for you because you may face so many questions on these areas as well, directly or indirectly, right? So we are having two sections. One is import options. So first let's see what are the things we have under import options. Import raw cost amounts, right? So obviously when we talk about inventory cost, are we going to just import the quantity and calculate the cost within the projects, guys? Team,
No, no.
right? So we have to capture the cost. But when it comes to the labor transactions, right? And I just want to import the quantity and I want to calculate the cost within the project accounting. So in that case, I should not import cost, right? Guys, Sahiti, Srikala,
Yes, Anna.
Rakesh, so you are very good in subject. I know that, but you have to talk proactively, right?
Yes, Anna, William.
What about the others? Banu, Shekhar, Lokesh, Naveen, no active participation.
Yeah. Hey, Devendra, this is Shekhar here. I just joined today in the first class. I just uh, started the session today only.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fine. I mean, that's fine then. What about the others? If you just want to listen, you can listen the recorded session even in offline. But I want active participation, whoever joined in this session.
Sure, Anna, we will interact.
Okay. So under import options, so if you enable import raw cost amounts, then you are saying the application that you are going to import cost from that particular transaction source, right? When we talk about labor transactions, so even for labor transactions, if you enable this checkbox, that means you are directly going to capture cost into the project accounting. You are not using our rate schedules to calculate the labor cost because you have already imported the cost from the third party system, right? So when you enable this checkbox, along with the quantity, you have to provide the raw cost, right? So without that, you cannot create or you cannot capture a transaction. Okay, guys. So that is the importance of import raw cost amounts. Okay. Next, moving to the allow duplicate reference. So we have a column called original transaction reference, so which gives a mapping between your source transaction and the transaction what we have created within the project accounting. So, right, so that's a reference to the transaction within the external system. And using this, whether you want to allow duplicate references or you want to maintain unique reference for every transaction that you import from this system, right? So in that case, you can leave this as is, so that users has to, or the system users, they have to provide a unique reference for each and every transaction, and the column name is original transaction reference. Okay. But if you want to allow duplicate values, then yes, you can enable this, right? Next, coming to the import burdened cost amounts, right? So if you have enabled burden, to the client, and again all the burden cost calculation happens at the source side, then yes, you can enable this option. If not, we should not enable these, and we should let the application to calculate the burden cost once the transaction imported into the project accounting side or project costing side, right? So that is about this. And coming to the allow override of person organization. Let's say I'm going to create one labor cost or labor transaction. Okay. Uh, my project organization, or like not project organization, like the employee belongs to an organization called uh, Bangalore organization, right? So that is his base location or the department. Okay, his department. Now I'm trying to enter a transaction on this person with a different organization, maybe Hyderabad organization, right? So in that case, as the person's base location is Bangalore, the system won't allow you to enter uh, a different expenditure organization, right? So in that case, if you want to have cost on a different departments, right, on the particular person, then you can enable allow override of person organization. So we are just overriding the person organization with our own organization as the expenditure organization, right, guys? So you do one thing while doing practice. First, enable this option and then try to capture labor cost or labor transactions. And again, by enabling this or disabling this, again try one more time, right? And try to find out the difference. Okay,
Okay.
so the prerequisite is take one person and make a note of his department as well, and try to give the expenditure organization as a different one. Sorry. Okay, where am I? Okay. Try to give a different department or the expenditure organization while creating the or while capturing the cost, and try to observe the the application reactions. Okay, how the application is going to respond. One case is enabling this and the other case is disabling this checkbox. Okay, guys.
Okay.
Okay, Anna.
Okay, that is about import options. And coming to the accounting options. So with if you see, the first option is which is like accounted in source application. So the question is here whether you want to import the transactions with the accounted or as an unaccounted transactions, right? So if you don't like, if you don't enable this option, import raw cost, then you cannot select the other option, because when you are not calculating the cost at the source side, can you able to create accounting on it, guys? Let's say labor cost. I have a system called Aptech and I'm capturing my labor cost within that system. So without calculating the cost, can I create accounting on it?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
No, right? So that's why
No.
if you don't enable this option, you can see only no for accounted in source application. That means whatever the transactions we are importing from the system, then they are unaccounted transactions. And we are going to create accounting for those transactions within the project costing side, right? That is the meaning of this no value. But when you select import raw cost amounts, then you can see one more option called raw. That means you are saying the application that whatever the cost you are importing from this particular source are already accounted at the source side, and those accounting entries are transferred to the GL in the fusion. So in that case, do we need to create accounting again within the project costing side,
No, sir.
guys?
No,
No.
no, Anna.
No, right?
No, not required.
No, sir.
So in that case, I can set raw. That means whatever the transactions that you import from this external system, you cannot create accounting on it, right? And saying that you have to provide both the debit entries and credit entries while importing the cost or while capturing the cost, right, guys? So even while creating expenditure batch or using ABDI templates or ADFDI templates. I mean, in future we'll see clearly what are ABDI templates or what are ADFDI documents, right? So what are the way you opt? You have to provide debit entry and the credit entry when you select accounted in source application as raw, right? So as soon as you select raw here, if you observe, this option got grayed out. I cannot enable this because it's already accounted, and there is no need of enable this option, which is create raw cost accounting general entries. But if you select no, then you can have option whether to select or leave this as open. Right? So then you can select this box in order to create accounting entries, and then again, if you are having or if you are going to perform adjustments within the project costing side. Let's say I imported one cost or transaction from this Aptech system, and while importing, I just referred a wrong task number, right, or a wrong expenditure type. Okay, let's say wrong task number or the project number. Now I want to change the task number from wrong number to correct task number. So we call this as like an adjustment, right? And what are the different kinds of adjustments we can do on a transaction, right? So anybody, not anybody, excluding those four members, what are the different adjustments I can perform on a particular transaction? Guys,
Capitalizable, non-capitalizable, transfer.
okay, that's it.
Billable, non-billable.
Okay, who is this? Manohar?
Manohar.
Okay,
Yes.
that's it.
Chargeable, non-chargeable.
Okay.
Split.
Mm-hmm.
So you are asking about here we can recalculate the cost, burden cost.
That will not create new transaction. That will just create, one more distribution. But we'll skip that now. We'll try to focus on the, changing the attributes of the transaction. We'll see later about the cost.
Okay.
Right. So these are all some of the adjustments what you can perform on a transaction. Like even you can change the work type, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you are doing such kind of adjustments within the project accounting or project costing side, then even you have to create accounting for on those newly created transactions because of your adjustments, right? So in that case, you can enable this checkbox in order to perform accounting on the newly adjusted transactions, right? And we are having one more option called import accounted cost when project periods are closed, right? So what is the use of this option? Oracle has introduced this option in the very recent upgrades of the version. So when you select accounted in source application as Azure, that means whatever the transactions we are importing, they're already casted and accounted at the source side. And in that case, when we are importing such transactions into the project costing, do we need to check for the period status whether it is in open state or closed state when the transaction is already accounted at the source side? No, right? So irrespective of the period status, I can import that cost because it's already accounted and transferred to the GL, right? So you can also opt this option, right? If you want to import cost even when the period is closed, saying that that particular transaction should be accounted at the source system side. Are you with me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Sahiti?
Yes.
Okay. And again, we are having one more option called commitments, right? So you can also import commitments from the external source, like purchase orders or purchase requisitions or supplier invoices, right? But we didn't try this option. Once we complete all the primary stuff, maybe we'll focus on this area as well. Okay. Now let me enable this, and then this, because I'm not sure whether we have SLA in place. So I'm just going with the raw, and then I'm clicking save and close.
Devendra, I have a question over here. Can I ask you?
Yes, Shekhar.
Yeah. So suppose if I import the cost from like inventory or work order any website. So
Mm-hmm.
in Fusion, can we change it like a job number or like or item number anything if we enable that option, or just only project and task number only or expenditure type?
Item number, I don't think we can change that.
Okay, just like it is a task and expenditure type will be we can change if
Yeah,
enable that option.
yeah,
That's what.
yeah. If you want to transfer or split, like you can do across the project or tasks, but you cannot change the inventory item within the transaction.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Now I have a document, and under the document, what is the next level? We have to create a document entry, right? So if you are having multiple documents here, guys, then you have to highlight the respective document and then click on the create icon under document entries. And what could be the scenario or the necessity of having multiple documents here? Anybody? For a given transaction source or the external system, what could be the scenarios or the necessity to have multiple documents? Guys,
Sometimes if we
Sure,
want
Nana.
to import unaccounted data, we have
mhm,
to maintain another document.
yeah. So maybe you are importing, labor cost, and at the same time, you are just importing them and you are doing accounting within the project costing side. So in that case, as you have selected raw to this, you have to create one more document with the accounted in source application as no, so that you can able to create accounting within the project costing side, right? So if you have such kind of requirements, then you can create multiple documents. If not, you can go with a single document. And who has answered this question? Manohar?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, good. Let's click on this plus icon or create icon under document entries. You can let me give my document entry name like take material cost. I'll just give the same name. Okay. Here we are having again different options. First one is allow adjustments. If you want to do adjustments within the project costing side, then yes, you have to enable this option. Otherwise, you cannot transfer the cost, you cannot split the cost, you cannot change from capitalizable to non-capitalizable, or non like billable to non-billable, right? Or changing the work type. No, you cannot do anything if you uncheck this option, right? So if you want to do adjustments, you have to enable this option. And we have one more option called allow reversals. So instead of adjusting, you want to reverse the entire transaction, right? So for example, you are having a transaction for $100, and you want to reverse it, and you want to have one more transaction with minus $100, right? So you want to reverse it completely. So in that case, if you want to do such kind of reversals, you have to enable this option. Otherwise, you cannot reverse the transaction. And again, allow modifications to unprocessed transactions. It's like you are importing the cost from the external system, and due to some exceptions, it got parked in the middle area or the staging area. We call that as unprocessed area, right? So Once the cost landed there, whether you want to allow changes to those transaction lines or not. So it depends upon the selection of this option. If you don't select this, then you cannot modify or update the transactions which are under unprocessed cost area, right? But if you want to do modifications, yes, you have to enable this. And coming to the most important thing here is expenditure type class. So what kind of transactions you want to, you are importing or capturing from this source system. So my name, it's just a name. I can give whatever the name it is, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to import material cost or inventory cost. So keeping this uh, name as material cost, I can also import any other labor cost or something, right? But what is the base here? The base is the expenditure type class. Now, as the name suggesting here material cost, so I can select inventory here. That means I can, whatever the transactions I'm importing from the system are related to the inventory, and accordingly system will enable the inventory related distributions to these transactions. And also based upon this, you are going to configure your SLA for create accounting, right? Once we see the SLA, then you will come to know more about this. But this expenditure type class will classify the transactions, whether that is in labor cost or inventory cost or a miscellaneous transaction or a supplier invoices, right? So based upon the type of transaction you are importing from the external system, you have to select that appropriate expenditure type class here, right? Okay. And again, if you're having cross-charge transactions, like if you are importing borrowed lent or intercompany, then yes, you have to enable process cross-charge transaction checkbox here. If not, you can leave this open and then click save and close. So before that, for a given document, you can create multiple document entries. And again, my question is, what is the necessity of having multiple document entries? Why can't I go with the single document entry for a given document?
Because of the expenditure type class.
Yeah. So for a given document, so if I am importing, like if let's say from the Aptex system, I'm importing material cost, which is like inventory cost. At the same time, I'm also want to import labor cost, right? So in that case, I'll create one document entry for inventory and I'll create one more document entry for my labor cost, right guys? Because these are all the questions we'll face on this topic, like transaction source. So are we good on this transaction source part?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, let's move to the transactions part now. So I'm going back to the home page and going to the cost work area again. And from the task list, I'm clicking on manage unprocessed cost. We have one more option called capture cost, which is like all the ADFDIs. I said, right, there are three ways to capture cost. One is ABDI and the other one is ADFDI and the other one is unprocessed expenditure batch, right? So currently we are looking at the unprocessed expenditure batch creation. So you can click on this, manage unprocessed cost, and then under search results, you can click on create or plus icon here, then give your expenditure batch as like pest 1709 and business unit is Banview. My source is Aptec. As I'm having single document and document entry, they got defaulted here automatically. Okay, and then click OK. Right. So now we are in the create transaction page where you have to give all your POI details and other additional information here. So my project is, let's go to the search. I know the project name, but when it comes to the number, mm, let's go with doesn't contain. Okay, bank CP is my project number. Click OK. I'll pick bank A is my task number, and the expenditure item date or the transaction date is maybe August 1st or 2nd, and then my expenditure type. Guys, I think you are aware about all these POI details, right? Project number, task number, expenditure item date, type, and organization.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Anna.
But here I'm not able to see any expenditure types here. What is the reason?
Will
Why I'm
not
not able to find anything?
Why? Because
will not
we
classify
have
that,
selected
Anna.
inventory.
Correct, right? So let me open one more tab. And go back to the setup and maintenance. And then project foundation, project expenditure types. Let me make one of the expenditure type suitable for our transaction. Okay, I'll go with this, or okay, this is with bank code, so I can go with this. Let me add the inventory expenditure type class, and then save and close. Now come back to our expenditure batch. Now try to check for the expenditure type. Why it is not reflecting it? Maybe we have to start from the beginning. Sometimes it will get reflected automatically. Okay, so 1709. My transaction source is Haptic. Why? No, I'm not able to see that. And did we save that properly? The expenditure type. Let me create a new expenditure type. Materials. Okay, and then my expenditure type class is inventory. I have to give my set code as I'll give this, and also I'll give this. Save and close. Don't refer. I mean, don't bother about reference data sets. We'll deal with that separately. There we go. Materials. Then click OK. Coming to the expenditure organization, I'll go with Bangalore, and the quantity here it's like 2. I was referring about this original transaction reference, right? Whether we want to maintain uniqueness or duplicate reference values within the document level. I'll just give test 1, 2, 3. So here, even though my transaction related to the inventory item is entirely optional here. Whether if you have any items, you can provide. If not, you can leave this as blank. Let me see if we have any inventory items here. Okay, let's pick one of these. My comments. What is my raw cost? And as I have enabled accounted in source application as raw, then even I have to provide my provider ledger currency raw cost as well. So, and also I said that accounted in source application as raw, so I have to provide my debit entry and credit entry, right? So under accounting details, you have to give your accounting date on which you have created accounting in the source application, and then what are the debit and credit entries. So let me pick some random values here. Okay, from this, now again you can click on save and then click on import cost. This will trigger a job called import cost, right? So that is the main job, to import cost from external system or from within the subledgers, right? So or within the projects, that is the main job. So in order to search the status, let's select the transaction source under manage unprocessed cost. This record should get clear from this page so that we can see that cost in the main cost work area, right? It got cleared from the unprocessed area. Now we can go to manage project cost, and you can review your cost. My source is this. Click on search, then you can able to see the cost, right? So this is my transaction. Okay guys, and giving the more accurate question to Shekhar. So even though I'm going to transfer or doing some kind of adjustments, I cannot change the inventory details anywhere. So that's completely not feasible.
So what are the parts we can change it? It's only for project and task along with expenditure type. That's all, only 3.
You are also having work type. So if you go to the, you can change the work type, and you can change the whether it is capitalizable or non capitalizable, because as this project is meant to capture the SIP cost, so you don't find billable or non-billable options here.
Okay.
And you can transfer the cost from one project to another project, and again you can split and transfer, you can reverse completely, because as we have enabled allow reverse option,
Yeah,
right?
we can
So
reverse quickly.
we can reverse, so a negative transaction got created, right?
Yeah, is there a way we can add show field to see the transaction source?
Yes, here. We have a transaction source
Okay.
here. And if we even like you can dive into the transaction by clicking on this transaction number hyperlink, and you can review all the transaction details here. If it is like a supplier invoice, so you can see all the who
But
is
I
your
didn't get to
vendor.
one thing, Devender, over here, because right
Mhm.
initially you created one uncosted expenditure along with it's like a pre-approved batch, right? The one which you are
Correct.
entered
Correct.
initially. After that,
Correct.
you are mapped with your transaction source. How it was mapped it? Because in that
While
pre-approved batch, yeah.
while creating the batch, I have selected my expenditure batch name, business unit, and then the transaction source, right?
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So I think I'll stop here. Team, do you have any questions? Try to capture the cost using your manage and process cost and review all the details under general under costing, right? So under costing, you can see all the distribution details, right? And you can click on view accounting because this is already a accounted transaction. You can see your raw cost and raw cost clearing for this, right? Okay, we'll stop here. It's నరేష్ మీకు ఇమీడియట్గా క్లాస్ ఉందా ఇప్పుడు ఫినాన్స్ నరేష్
Yeah. That is. Hello.
ఓకే
Hello.
ఫైన్ చెప్పు నరేష్
Hello.
చెప్పు నరేష్
Anna, అదే స్టార్ట్ క్లాస్ 10:30 ఉంది అన్న.
ఓకే దెన్ బాయ్ మరి బాయ్ ఎవ్రీవన్
Yeah, thank you, Devender. Devender, one quick question. I'm just joined today only.
ఓకే
So far, ఏ topics cover అయ్యండి?
ఓకే టీమ్ రెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద టీమ్ యూ కెన్ లీవ్ ద మీటింగ్ ఐ జస్ట్ హ్యావ్ ఎ వర్డ్ విత్ శేఖర్ ఇస్ ద సేమ్ లింక్ నరేష్ యు ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు యూజ్ ఎ డిఫరెంట్ లింక్ రైట్ ఫర్ ద ఫినాన్స్
We can only run one meeting at a time.
Okay. So Shekhar, like so far we have covered all the configurations within the Fusion,
Okay. It's
right?
configuration. Okay.
Yeah, we have covered all the configurations, mandatory like foundation configurations. Now we just entered into the capital project lifecycle. You
Okay.
can refer all the videos, like someone will help you in order to, like if you are in the group, uh, you can go through all those videos.
Okay, maybe you can refer me who is the right point of contact to get those things.
Yeah, you can reach out to Naresh. He will help you out in that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. See you
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
Bye.